Hello, I'm Wade Henderson. Join me now for conversations with our neighbors who create visual art. This is Delta Hands. In this edition, we'll meet a sculptor who works to capture the flow of life and energy, and a painter of celebration, meditation, and prayer. Then we'll see how sharing and collaboration can create endless variety. We begin a few steps from Bayou Teche in Breaux Bridge, where Kelly Guidry carves and paints sculpture that he calls primitive modern.
I've had people ask me, a number of different times, do you look at a piece of wood and you know what it's going to be, or vice versa? And the fact is, it works both ways. Sometimes I'll do a sketch and then I need to find the piece of wood that's going to fit the shape and the dimensions. Other times, the wood will suggest a shape and I'll go with that and I'll just do it completely freestyle. Once you get into the project, the wood always has, it's not like a block of plaster or clay or something that has a consistent texture all the way through. Wood, you never know what you're going to get. You're going to get splits and cracks and checks, and then there's going to be knot holes, and the grain's going to run funny here and different things. So if you fight it, oftentimes you're going to just get very frustrated. So if you allow the wood to guide you in certain areas, and you just kind of go with it, oftentimes I come out with something better than my original intent. My favorite is cedar because of the smell. It's pretty. It has those multiple tones. It's a beautiful wood. It's blonde on the outside, and then as you get into the core, it's more of a red. So when you follow your contours, you get these changes of the red and the yellow and it just gives so much more character to the work. It's just really a beautiful wood. It works well. It carves easy. It's generally fairly consistent, and even when it has the rotten spots, it looks great. It looks good. So I've gotten to the point where I work almost consistently with cedar. To me, it's the copper and the metal and the paint and the detailing that make my work so different. What's nice about copper is it's very malleable. It has a lot of different things that you can do to it, both in shaping and in changing the color with heat treatments and different types of patinas and adding different things to it. I'm more of almost your blue-collar worker artist. So where I'm like, I've got, and I'm constantly making sketches and I'm making lists and I'm writing stuff down, but I'm hustling on all levels because I want to have my work out there. I want to control the business end, but at the same time, I'm a one-man operation, so I'm also total into production. And and if you're not working, your work's not evolving. It's not changing. So it's a matter of but at the same time, I get so much out of it. And originally, I was very traditionalist. It had to be hand saws and rasps and files and hand sanded, and everything was, so it took forever to do just even a tiny small piece. And I really liked doing it, so I kept doing it like that for a couple of years. And somebody had introduced the idea to me at one point. They said, well, why don't you use a chainsaw? I said, it takes you so long just to saw out, just to block out. They said, why don't you use a chainsaw just for the blocking out? But once they kind of got me started, it just kind of took off like wildfire after that. I like the aggressive nature of it, And the fact that it was fast. I could see in my head the shape I wanted, and instead of taking 30 or 40 minutes to get a basic shape, I could do that in 5 or 10 minutes. And then from that point, the speed of everything accelerated, so I didn't have to, originally I would minimize. You know, it's like, well, I'd like it to do this, but man, that's really going to take a long time, so I'm just going to make it a little more simple. Now I was less limited. And the evolution of the work goes a lot faster, to where you can do one piece and say, okay, man, I like this, but next time I would like to change this a little bit. So the next one you do, instead of being next week, it's the next day. So by the time you've done 4 or 5 of them, the first one you did is radically different than the last one you did, and instead of that being the course of 3 months, that's a week and a half. You can there's evidence of the process in the finished piece, and that's one thing that I've tried to maintain. You look at it from 10 feet away and you see the basic shape and the curves, and you can see the colors, and you can kind of make out what's wood and what's metal, and you have a full shape of a figure. When you get in closer, there's all these intricate little surface details and markings and symbols that may or may not directly be translatable to you, almost like hieroglyphics or something that you found that's an ancient language, some kind of a symbolism that is even more attractive because it's mysterious, because you don't know quite what it means, and it makes you want it, you know, it draws you to it. So that way it operates on 2 levels, from a distance and on an intimate basis. Every day I go to bed feeling a sense of accomplishment. I feel proud of what I've done. I'm happy with what I've done. I know that I've done some work that's going to make somebody happy, or that's going to make somebody say, man, I used to draw, or I used to do this, or I used to do that. I can't tell you how many times I've had people tell me that, where it's inspired them. And even if only 1 out of 10 people actually go back and pick up their paintbrushes, or go back and work with their music again, or whatever, if nothing else, it started that spark in them again. It got them excited. It made them think about being creative. All the good things that come out of it are based on good energy that I draw in from everyone around me. So everything is, you know, it's just based on all these good feelings and this good energy. So that goes into the work, and then it goes out in the world, and I'll have people that'll come back a year, 2 years later and see my new work and say, oh, I love all your stuff, it's great, but it's not as good as my piece. I love my piece, mine's still the best. And it's just, and that makes me feel so good to know that that this one little thing that I did 2 years ago that I may not even remember makes this person happy on a daily basis. And every time they see it, you know, even if it makes their life just a little bit better, to me, that's a wonderful thing. And the idea that I'm constantly sending work out like that, and it makes me feel bigger and better, and like I'm doing something to help people, to make the world better.
Next on Delta Hands, we'll meet an artist for whom painting is prayer.